Alright, so we just ordered our Uber up. We're here in Woodland Hills, getting ready for 3 days out in the Santa Monica Mountains. Alright.
Here we are in Los Angeles, California. This is Will Rogers State Historical Park, and what was formerly a ranch getaway for the famed movie Cowboy is now 186 acres of public use land, with a full-size polo field and equestrian center. We begin on the Inspiration Loop Trail. It's a very easy walk and it's heavily used. As we make our way up, you get a better look at the polo field. We'd also be looking at downtown Los Angeles, but it's a little hazy. 1 mile in and we hit the first junction. This is where we leave Will Rogers Park and head over to the Backbone Trail. The Backbone Trail is 67 miles that connects Will Rogers State Park to Point Magoo. It seems right now that they're actively trying to discourage backpacking, but you can do it in 4 nights as a through hike.
Careful, Mike. We're right here on the edge. What's nice is we just crossed that bridge. Looking back towards the city here. Making our way really up the steepest part of this whole thing. How you doing with the hill? Come here, duck voice.
As we make our way towards Topanga Canyon, sign of the crystal sniffers becomes more evident. After an hour of seeing no other humans, it's really amazing to find solitude in a metro area of over 20 minutes.
One thing about this trail that we're on right now, it can be dangerous, is the mountain bikers. Because mountain bikers come screaming down this hill, and you have to get out of the way pretty damn quick. Because they will win that battle. I almost slipped. Michael, I think there's got to be bees here. Listen. You hear that? Dude, you can just hear the humming in here. Holy shit. Yeah, or something. Alright. I think we're getting close to where we want lunch. Oh, little peace sign. You can tell we're in Topanga. Alright, we found this nice little place for lunch here, so we stopped and decided to take a break for a minute. Nice and shady under this tree. I didn't pack real well, so I had to undo a lot of my stuff to get the food out. Michael, you look like you're just enjoying a view over here. You know, it was busy earlier, but once we left Will Rogers Park and headed into Topanga, we've only seen, I think, 2 people, really. We probably got another 2 hours to get to camp. Hopefully get there around 5 o'clock. What do you think, Michael? All right. All finished up with lunch, packed and ready to go. Ready? Hopefully, I think we can get to camp in another 2 hours or so. That's pretty. Beautiful out there. Just made it kind of over these hills. We're actually now looking at San Fernando Valley down here, which means we're getting really close to the major junction. You know, obviously mountain lions are something we have a lot of in California here. Watch out, Michael. Let me slide over here. We keep seeing these prints in the mud, these paw prints that have like pads with claws on them. And so, Michael, put your hand there next to that. Let's see. How big is that? That paw. All right, so it's like half the size of your hand. Pretty good size though. I wonder if that's a cat track. There are lions. Wonder what they're looking for. Alrighty, we just got out of the Backbone Trail segment here, out onto the fire roads in Topanga Canyon. Whew. Station. We've climbed 2,000 feet of elevation. And the Backbone Trail. You can see we started right about here. We made our way around to here. If we do it tomorrow, oh man. Woo, been at this maybe 5 hours now. We are at our last junction before camp, thank God. We're here in Topanga State Park now. Let's hit it, let's go. So we're here at Mush Camp. It's a trail camp. You can see they obviously just cut down a bunch of the trees here, a bunch of eucalyptus trees. And you got horse pens over here, so if you're coming through with horses. There's one other group camping down at the very end there, but we really can't even see them. We brought 2 different stoves with us to cook. Michael's doing the standard mountain house, so we're just gonna boil 2 cups of water. I'm so tired I can't even give increments of measurement. We also have a little alcohol stove over here, which if we were gonna be doing our longer trip, which we originally planned, we'd also be using. But I don't think we're gonna use that. Windscreens if we need them. It's so still out here, I don't think we do. So as soon as this is ready, you ready? Alright, well it got dark really fast. You can see the sun's going down. We were just making some food. Michael got his spaghetti. I'm blinding the camera with these lights. You still got your sunglasses on, I see. That's nice, that's good. We're gonna chill here. I'm starting to feel a little more human. After today, it was a little rough. But let's eat some food and see what we got to do tonight. Get some sleep. What we're thinking is we're gonna get this new hammock set up and maybe try to sleep in it. I'm not sure. So, how is that?
That feels nice.
Not too bad.
Well, it's about 6:50 in the morning. Michael's here crashed out with me still. It's actually really nice out. It got kind of cold last night. Not too bad. Excuse me. And Michael actually was too hot. He had to open his sleeping bag up and take his outer layers off. He had too much. But I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go try to maybe make some coffee and get going. So there's our camp over there. Michael's still sleeping, it's early. It's a nice morning. When you look in the valleys, you can see all the fog. Camp is actually down there. I just hiked up here a little bit to take a look.
And I'm just glancing real quick over here where that other camp was. And I checked the trash just briefly, but you can see that jet boil canister. But the one thing I was going to say is, if you want to see how people in Los Angeles are going to make their s'mores, well, they're going to do gluten-free honey graham crackers with dark chocolate with a little bit of black sea salt. What's cool, I think this is the original probably horse area. If you look at this old wall, there's actually metal rings in the wall. There's a stick in that one. I think they used to use this to tether the horses up. Completely guessing. It's a fairly old wall, and if you see all those rings and then you come this way, and it looks like what was probably a trough or something for watering.
You know, one thing I'll point out is, you know, backpacking's a lot of fun, and, you know, car camping's one thing, but to really backpack, now where we are right now, this is not wilderness backcountry, right? But we still are kind of more remote than we would be if we were car camping. But the thing about backpacking is it can be daunting, right? There's all this gear you need, it's intimidating, you don't know what to do. And the one thing I'll say is you got to start, right? And you may have clunky stuff to start, but you don't have to drop just tons of cash. And one thing I mean by that is, this is a tent. I definitely am not going to sit here and try to push Ozark Trail at all. A lot of that stuff, you know, it's not going to work really well. It's going to fail. But this is a backpacker tent that you can order. It's not one that you're going to see like at a Walmart, but you can order it. It's $39, I think. It's a $40 tent, and it's a little two-man backpacker that has a inner shell with an outer rain cover. Now, I did not take a lot of time to put this together correctly last night. We were tired. You can see some of my seams aren't quite lining the way they would, and if it really starts raining, we would pay because of that. But the one thing I'll say is a tent like this, it did not cost a ton of money. It's not some REI $500, that's an exaggeration, $350 deal. But I bought this thing 3 years ago. This is our 4th season using this tent, and it's worked very well up in mountains, alpine, cold, rain. It works. Now, if you used it right out of the box and you went into a rainstorm, it'd probably not work real well. It's probably going to bleed through, and tents are always going to have condensation, right? They always suck a little bit if it rains. You know, the old touch the wall and water comes through. But I do take a little time, and if you come through and do a seam sealer, seal those seams up, and then just right guard the hell out of them. Not right guard, that's deodorant. What am I saying? Scotch guard, sorry. Scotch guard the hell out of them, which is a waterproofing spray that you can then apply to, you know, fabrics. Well, then you get a really decent tent. So, yo, how you doing? You good? Well, actually, I'll show you the sleeping setup. So, if you want to look in here real quick, that's one of those self-inflating Ozark Trail mats. You can get those for like 45 bucks, I think. They are comfortable, not real thick, kind of heavy. The problem here is we had a cat who used his claws on it a few times, so it's got a few slow leaks. Then this right here
is the Big Agnes Air Cooler. This thing costs a little bit more, but for me, I'm a big old dude, and I sleep very, very comfortably on this thing. I'm a side sleeper, so I need an air mat. Obviously, it's working for this guy. All right, well, we finished up with breakfast, and we are starting to pack up so we can get out of here. And we were thinking about heading on over to Malibu, but I think we're gonna head back to Woodland Hills and then find a way back home. Here's another look at this tent real quick that we were talking about earlier without the rain fly. So real basic shell, easy to set up. Like I said, very inexpensive, but if you waterproof it, it'll work. All right, well, we got camp right there. Good to go. You ready, Mike? Let's get out of here. We're gonna be heading back to Woodland Hills at this point. We originally were gonna do 3 days, but we're gonna cut it to 2 days. Because yesterday we kind of made a mistake and didn't have enough water with us. So the last 3 miles was just brutal, and it shouldn't be like that. It's a stupid mistake, especially in places like this. So that is Mush Meadow Trail back towards the camp that we're leaving. We're now headed back to Trippett Ranch. Well, we're just coming out here from Mush Trail into Trippett Ranch. Here's something you don't see on every trailhead and something we could have used yesterday. Water. Teach you a little bit of that. Man, it's nice. It's not that hot out. It's perfect. All right, let's go. Track. We're gonna head down to the road that we know. The only problem is in this canyon, you don't really get cell signal very easy, so I'm not sure how Uber is gonna do. I don't wanna have to hike out all the way from Topanga. Through the trail, we're almost back to the road here. And what's interesting is the grass is all matted down. What is that? I was just telling Michael, I guess we're not going to see any deer. I almost always see deer out here. And then we come across this. And I'm wondering, is this where they bedded down? Is that what deer do? I don't know. Crop circle. Hey, let's keep our eyes open for deer down there. I'm seeing cars. See, last time, Michael, I had my car parked here and I had an Uber pick me up and take me. Yeah, it was maybe a better idea, but I didn't know we were gonna do this. All right. Well, we are back to Entrada Road. Not back to, I should say we just arrived at Entrada Road. Looks like an old foundation over there. So we're just finishing up day 2 here. We're gonna see if we can't get us an Uber. Good job, Michael. All right, well, we were successful. Let's see, Michael, we got one? Driver on route. How far is he? 12 minutes?
13 minutes.
13 minutes? Sweet. Perfect. We will load up and be home and go get some hamburgers. What do you think?
Yeah.